All right, everybody, we're here at the ComicFest 2017 in Trinidad and Tobago, and we are with Dave DeVries. Hi, Dave. Welcome to Trinidad. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. This is a great place to be. Yep.
Fantastic. Would you mind just giving us a little background about yourself for the viewers?
I started in I'm an illustrator, and a concept artist. So illustrator is more general. Concept artist is someone that works for video games and movies and creates characters and settings. And so I've done a lot of this kind of work. And I started in 1988, which when I got out of college, and I've been working ever since for everybody from Marvel, DC, Universal Studios. If you ever go on the Universal, the Mummy ride, if you ever go to any of the theme parks, that's me. All my artwork's on those rides. I did a lot of design work on them, and it's really cool to see your artwork coming at you at 40 miles an hour in the dark. It's pretty cool, yeah. But yeah, but I've been doing that ever since.
You have worked on Archie Comics as well as Sonic. How was that experience for you?
The Archie Comics, that was just recent. So, recent in the last couple of years, and it was cool. I mean, they asked me to do the zombie versions, which was I totally wanted to do, and because I love zombies. I'm I read zombie book after zombie book after zombie book. I watch all the TV shows, so when they asked me to do it, I was like, all right, I'm doing it. And the Sonic one was I did 2 covers. One wasn't produced. And that was just a coloring job. And then the other one it's sort of like a painted job. You're kind of coloring and painting at the same time. You're doing a little bit more than you would normally do in just coloring. And I had all the villains, every single villain that he had on one page, and it was a lot of work, but it was fun. I mean, I loved doing all that little detail.
You have done so much illustration, so much painting. Can you tell us, is it that you learned on your own or you went to school? Because from what I've read, you did go to school, but you had some challenges in getting in. And tell us about that journey as an artist.
Well, the thing that you have to remember is that there are going to be people along the way that are going to kind of get in your way and step on you. And that could be a teacher, that could be a peer, somebody like another student in your class. And I've had teachers that have tried to crush my spirit, and you basically you can't let it stop you. You have to keep moving, and you have to keep drawing. And I was fortunate that I loved comics, because even though that my art teachers were some of them are really great and they loved what I did, but I had a few that were didn't like that stuff. And even though they didn't like it, every time I'd open up a book, I'd see a great artist in there, and I'd just be so inspired to keep going. And that's what kept me going. But when I was in 6th grade, I stopped drawing for an entire year, because I had shown this picture of, I think it was a Superman picture, to the best artist in our grade, this girl. And I remember she didn't even look at me. She was just drawing, and she looked at the picture, and she just said, "That isn't any good. You're not an artist." And yeah, I was young and impressionable, and it was like somebody stabbed me in the gut, and I was like, I'm not doing this. And that's actually when I got into comics, because a year later in the summer, I found this I think it was an Aquaman cover, and I looked at it, and I was like, I want to try and look at that and draw that, because I hadn't done that before. And when I did, I was like, oh my God, it came out so good. I got to keep doing this. And then the rest is history. I just kept going. But one last thing. I also was in a class. This is a lot of artists will compare themselves to other artists unfavorably. They'll say oh, they're so good, I shouldn't even bother. Don't do that. I had a high school class full of extremely brilliant artists that could draw and make things look photographic. They could look at a photograph and it would look just like the photograph. And it was overwhelming to me, but I kept going. And when I got to college, I got in the right place, and I started to really work on that. And then that's when I developed those skills later on. So you don't even know. You might get there later than that. Some people get there early. Don't compare yourself.
On that subject of being an artist, You have said once that being an artist is how you think about yourself.
It's sort of a brotherhood, sisterhood thing. When you meet another artist, you feel a connection to them. It's about your identity. It's about it's about how you see the world. So, all those times when the going gets rough, I wasn't anybody else. I couldn't be anybody else. So, the one thing you have to remember is, if you don't feed that desire to keep going, you're kind of letting yourself down. Your identity, who you are, needs to be fed. You have to grow that way. And if you're not doing that, then you're suppressing a very important part of yourself. So regardless of whether you're professional or not, you have to just do stuff. Just draw. Just paint. But it is a part of who you are, and I can't turn it off. I can't stop doing that. Right now, I've been an art teacher at a middle school for the last 3 years. It's very helpful for my family to have a stable income financially. So I still do this, but I have that base now, and I might not get as much time to do illustration as I want, but I still do it. And if I stop doing that, it's going to make me feel less. Like I feel like I'm not being who I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? And you have to realize that as an artist, you chose that as a person, not as a profession. You know what I mean? It's what separates. Like when people, I look at a sky and I might see something completely different than somebody who doesn't focus on that. Artists focus on light, color, shape, design, composition, and they feel it. But like somebody who's not trained to do that just sees something, says that's what it is, and goes on with their day. So yeah.
Okay, so now we would love to know a little bit about Monster Engine. And yes. So would you like to explain to someone who does not know what the Monster Engine is?
I take a child's drawing. Basically, about 1998, my niece drew in my sketchbook, and I was not happy about it because she basically carved the drawing into my sketchbook. So every time you turn the page, there's a ghost image for like the next 30 or 40 pages. But as I looked at it, I was like, you know something? There's something here. I always draw pictures of like The Thing and monsters and stuff in Marvel, and I start with a line drawing, and I was like, you know something? I add shading and color and make it look 3D. Why can't I do it to a kid's drawing? So that's when it started. And so I take a kid's drawing, and then I start painting it to look 3D. So, and I did that, and I loved the way it looked. And I started to interview the kids after I was done. So the book here is basically, it's an art book, but it interviews the kids, and the kids tell me the story of my painting. So I react off their drawing, and they react off my painting. So it's sort of a give and take. And it's a really fun project. I mean, I've been doing it for 18 years. Wait, 19 years. 19 years. It's been going on a long time. It's gone viral many times on the internet. There are now a lot of copycats out there, which, you know, some kind of bothers me too. There's people that have done it prior to me as like, you know, like one-off projects. There's a guy named Milo Matola who did a whole carousel of 3D kids drawings, really cool. Mad Magazine did a story, what if kids design their own Christmas toys in the 60s. There was another illustrator who did a children's book, but none of them look like what I do. And I think I'm the only one who actually did this for 20 years. Like, this is my thing, you know what I mean? I love it. So, yeah.
What I wanted to find out is you are teaching kids, but is there anything that possibly the kids have taught you?
They remind me of the kid I once was. So the thing that I've learned about being a kid is that they don't get embarrassed. They just say stuff and do stuff. Like right now, if I got up and I jumped around on one foot and la 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 la, people would look at me funny. But if a kid does it, nobody looks at them funny. And they're free because of that. So it actually, you have to embarrass yourself if you want to get back to that. You have to actually get to that point where you don't care And like when I walk into a room, immediately, and it takes work to hang on to this side to you. You have to embrace that part that feels embarrassing, because a kid does it naturally, but we suppress that as we get older to fit in. So you have to be able to like let go of these things. You ask yourself why. A kid, you say to a kid, you can't do that. They're like, why? And you're like, because it's just not done. And they're like, why? I don't care. Exactly. And so you have to find that part of you. And as an old adult, there's decorum. You have to know when and when you don't do that. Like, I'm not going to do that in front of my boss, at the principal of the school. I'm not going to hop on one foot, but in front of my students, I might do it. I had a little kid come up to me, and he was like a sixth grader, and he gave me the greatest compliment ever. He said, you know what? I'm like, what? He goes, you're a kid in an adult suit. And I was just like, that is going on my tombstone. So it's a real, they're teachers. But a lot of time, people don't look at them as teachers. They want to silence them. They want to shape them, and you have to really like see them for what they are. They are who you really are. And as a matter of fact, when you get older, and you're an old person, sometimes old people get like crotchety and angry. Okay, but it's the same mentality. They don't care anymore what you think. The little kid does it with a smile. The old person's been kind of bitter that they've had to suppress this their whole life, and now they're so old. They're like, I'm old. I finally got here, and my body doesn't work, and yes, But they still are like, I don't care. I got limited time left. I'm doing what I want. So it's like that middle part is where you want to hang on to that. I don't know. That's my theory.
Well, everyone, we would love to know where we could find more of your work online.
Go to The Monster Engine, not monsterengine.com, because you'll go to monster.com and look for a job. It's themonsterengine.com, and then you can go to davedevries.com to look at all my Marvel and DC and other types of illustration work. Yeah.
Okay, is there any last comments for your viewers out there that you would like to leave them with?
Just that I'm really happy to be in Trinidad. I wish I had more time to go and see the place. I'm in and out, but hopefully we'll come back, But it's a beautiful island and, very cool.
Well, there you have it, everyone. This is ComicFest 2017. Dave DeVries.